Whenever we do rehab, one of the first steps we do is to get the knots, get the tissue, get the myofascial released out of the tension of whatever joint we're trying to work on and get stronger and more stable. So we're working on the ankle weakness, pronation issues, and instability. So the main players here are all the tissue underneath here. Um, People who have plantar fasciitis know all about this. Heel spurs, heel pain. So I got a bunch of different little options here. We got like a pitching machine ball. You just want to roll that on the bottom. And what you're looking for is any tender spots. And if you find one, mine's pretty good today, but if I found one right here, I just want to apply a little more pressure and just wiggle it around, kind of like I'm turning a doorknob. And then I'm going to move off of that. So again, whenever you work on myofascial release, you want to have a good idea of which way the direction of the muscle tissue is going. And we want to go along that tissue and loosen it up and loosen that fascia, the tissue tension. And then we want to go cross fiber and go the other way. When people ask how long, it doesn't really matter. Just about 30 seconds. Each spot is probably good. If it feels more tender on one side than the other, you could do a little bit longer. You just want to go too long and bruise it. You don't want to put too much tension. You could bruise it too. So again, we're always not try not to trigger a threat to the brain. So if you get into a real sore spot and you keep pushing, pushing, and that whole no gain, no pain, no pain, no gain theory, sorry, it doesn't really work because in the brain gets scared and then it's going to send some inflammation responses down there and it might even tighten it up afterwards. So just work that. You want to go at the outside of the foot, inside of the foot, because our goal is to get to strengthen the bottom of that arch. And a lot of you have flat arches, so we really got to work this. Other people maybe have too tight, and we still need to, stimulate it because we're going to want to try to get that more stable if it isn't. And then you can go onto the heel. That might be tender for a lot of people, but again, long and then cross there. And then you could add a little circular. And then we'll get the heel on this one. So a lot of different fascia down there, a lot of little muscles. The other big player with the ankle is the tibius anterior. That's going to help do dorsiflexion, or extend it back, especially the big toe. And then the proneus muscles on the side here, they wrap around. So you got a little bit of the tendon there. They wrap around and cause the supination. So if you've been told that you're pronating that way, these might be too tight, pulling it, or overactive. So I'm just going to change up. We can do a roller through there. Again, that fiber is coming down this way. So I'm going to do a little bit of a cross. It's be a little bit harder with the roller. Again, I'm not pushing too hard. It's not tender. Little tight spot there, so I'm going to hit that. I'm going to go to the other side. There, and you can see from the picture I got there where that muscle runs. And then we want to work the gastroc or calf. You guys all know about where that muscle is. A couple bellies there, and a little bit goes above the knee. So run it all the way up there to the other side. If you don't have a roller, you can use a tennis ball. I could be laying on the ground and foam rolling this. Same thing, cross fiber, elongated. Yeah, same thing through here. So typically with our kind of postural rehab, we really want to focus on myofascial release for at least a couple of weeks. You might slowly be able to you know, be less tender and not spend as much time doing this. But we want to go into a big long stretching routine until those muscles, we get some of the trigger fibers out of there, get some of the adhesions out of there too. The other guy I like to use is a thumper gun. You have one of these. You do that same thing. This again is one of the questions I get is how deep do you need to go? Doesn't need to go very deep. We don't want to cause bruising or swelling in there. Again, I can do this on the bottom of my foot. Yeah. Get that tibius anterior. With this one, you just got to watch the bone. And you mostly want to stay in the belly of the muscle. Do a little bit going down the tendon, but mostly through there. But like a lot of ligaments through there too, so you could work those a little bit, just some stimulation, and then get those peroneus muscles again on there. Through there. So you can use any of these things. We got vibration balls. We got just plain tennis balls are cheap, racket balls, lacrosse balls, pitching machine balls, any one of those. But again, focus on the bottom of the foot, the dorsiflexion, some of the ones that pronate, and then the calves that do the plantar flexion. So spend a good amount of time on both sides, but just spending maybe a minute or two on each muscle group there, trying to go long fiber and a cross fiber. Hopefully this helps, and usually when you get up, you feel nice and loose, like you're walking on clouds.